How's it going, everybody? I hope you're having a wonderful day. And, Jagged Alliance 3 is a game that has just come out, and a lot of people were skeptical about how good it was going to be, if it was going to be as good as the previous ones, the 1 and 2, the ones that kind of made the franchise huge and popular and was just almost a classic at the time, and there's been spin-offs that's kind of been hit and miss here and there and other things, but I will say Jagged Alliance 3 does the series justice. It is a very good game. If you are a fan of turn-based tactical RPG strategy games, I guess the best thing I can describe it to for a lot of people is games like XCOM, where death is permanent, the game is hard, choices have to be made, you're managing a base to an extent. You're not really building structures and stuff, but you're managing your company, training them, upgrading them, things like that. So it's got very much XCOM vibes, which is probably the game I'm going to compare it to the most, just so people have, something to relate it to, because it is comparable to a lot of other games, but I mean, XCOM is so popular now with how 1 and 2 did really good, so it is a game that is just insane. So there is so much to this. You got all different kinds of mercenaries you can recruit and add to your squad. They all range from, recruit, veteran, elite, legendary, and that's like their level and their stats. They all have an upkeep. You got to pay them a fee every 7 days. If you don't, they will leave you. So you got to make sure your mercenaries are paid well. They all come with different stats, perks, equipment, all kinds of stuff for people that enjoy to customize and make them unique. And it's just a lot going on in the game. And it really starts from building your company, because how you start out your company is how you're going to kind of progress going forward. So you really need to be smart about it, make good choices and everything. And much like XCOM, when you mess up and one of your mercs gets killed, well, that's the end of them. There's no bringing them back. Now, there are difficulty options that can make the game way, way harder, and there are a few to make it a little less punishing for people that don't want to be punished that bad. But at the end of the day, the game still is a difficult game, and the enemy is almost always going to outnumber you. They're going to get reinforcements. Cars can blow up. They're going to throw grenades if you cluster your guys. There's a lot of things that the game's going to throw at you that is going to make it difficult, and it's going to punish you when it sees fit, which is pretty surprising. The AI is pretty decent. I am not like thinking the AI is bad. I don't think it's like the best AI I've ever seen, but it's very competent from what I've seen. It can do a lot, and it can also really catch you off guard. And I don't really think the AI has any kind of like cheats or anything that make it do anything the player can't do. It's limited to everything that the player is limited to. So that's always good to see as well. Now, the way the game plays is there's a huge island map that you are conquering territory on and progressing through, conquering bases, taking out supply chains, all these kind of things, liberating towns, and it's like a pseudo open world. When you go into a level, it's not like other games where you're just in combat or there's only one combat scene. Like if you played the recent XCOMs, you get in, you find the enemies, combat starts, and you combat through the level and it's over. Here, you will have combat on some levels, then there'll be a break, and then there'll be more combat, and then a break, and it may continue up till a boss or till the end of the level. You can also sneak in the game and ambush enemies and get the first hit, which is really neat. So there's a lot of ways to start combat and open combat, which makes it interesting and adds the replay value to it. Now, there are things that you can collect in the world too, which is very different. Not only do you loot the dead bodies, for gear and equipment, but there's stashes, there's hidden stashes, there's just herbs and plants you pick for medicine. There's things hidden around the map that you can inspect, like there might be a locked gate, and if somebody has a mechanical skill high enough, they can lock pick it, or there's just so many little things to look out for and pay attention to, which kind of gives more of an exploration vibe to the game, and I do appreciate the exploration that they offer the player on a map or on a level. It's very rewarding, and you can easily miss really good gear, items, weapons, whatever, if you refuse to explore or you don't have the necessary skills to pass the skill checks. Combat is turn-based. It's your team goes, the enemy team goes. So, nothing out of the ordinary there. When you do target an enemy, you get to, pick what body part you want to hit. Now, obviously, head, arms, legs are a little bit harder to hit than the torso because they're smaller. And the type of weapon you use and how close you are in proximity are going to play a big role on that. So keep that in mind during positioning. There are a number of skills you can use. There is Overwatch, there's run and gun, there's you can actually move and shoot, to name a few. There's others, but I don't want to sit here and name them all. So it's not just pick a point and cover and shoot. You have other abilities and skills you will gain access to use to also make the combat a little more dynamic. Now, there is an aiming mechanic as well, to where you have an aim circle on the enemy, and you can spend additional AP to reduce the size of that to increase your accuracy, which is also a nice little touch. You will notice, though, that in the gameplay you see here, whenever I am targeting an enemy or attempting to attack them, there is no hit chance. This isn't like XCOM where it says 99% hit chance and you miss. You actually don't know the percent chance to hit. The only thing you know is I'm closer, I'm aiming more, so I should have a higher chance. It actually doesn't tell you the chance to hit, which I kind of like, because I don't know if I have a 99% chance or a 1% chance. And when in XCOM you knew that, it really would ruin your experience when you're point blank range and there's an evasive enemy like the Snake Man or something, and you're trying to shoot them point blank with a shotgun, and they just dodge your bullet. They're literally, you're 6 inches from their chest, They just dodge the pellets, they dodge the buckshot. It's magically nothing hits them, So it is nice not to see that, and it really, I don't know, it doesn't make you feel as punished for a miss, And Overwatch is really nice as well. It's in a cone. Different weapons have a different cone arc as well. And you can even get an ability where the Overwatch is in a circle around you, which is really neat. So, and if the enemy attacks or moves in the Overwatch, they do take, they get hit. So it's really neat that the way Overwatch works in this game, you can kind of project the cone and put it where you want. So I'm a big fan of that. And it's just overall a game that is really fun, and there's been times where I've made bad mistakes and I've been punished. Like I said, I think the AI is competent. I think the AI is very good. Now, it's not perfect, and, when you're sneaking around and hiding, and you're, like, undetected, it kind of seems like they should see you and they don't. But that's based off of your stealth stat, which I forget which main stat it is. I think it's dexterity or something that affects your stealth capabilities. But that's really neat to see. And the enemy, while they might be dumb when you're sneaking around, they are not dumb in combat. And they will focus fire a single target. I had one guy get attacked by 3 enemies. They didn't even try to target anybody else because they were trying to take him out. And very few games do that. They will actually not focus fire somebody down. They will spread out their attacks to kind of give the player more of a chance, where you as a player, you definitely want to focus down targets. So it's really interesting how the game will hurt you. It will punish you. And I don't know if I already said this, but money is a big issue, and it will play a huge role in the game. And if you're constantly having to rebuy mercs and equipment or whatever, you will eventually reach a point in your game where you're just gonna have to restart. There's no like pickup recovery mechanic. There's no, hey, can I take out a loan and buy stuff? Like, you're just gonna have to restart the game, which some people might like it, some people might hate it. I guess it's kind of a roguelike in that sense. I don't know. But if you get messed up enough and you don't have the funds to pay the mercenaries, you're done. You can't really advance. You can't just bring 2 or 3 into a battle. I would say you need at least 5. 6 is, I believe 6 is the max. Maybe you can get 7. Not sure. But 6 is a good number. I've never tried to bring more than 6. So, overall, I think it's a great game. If I had to rate it, I would say it's one of the better games that Jagged Alliance. It plays like 2 to me. It feels like 2. It definitely has modern conveniences. Kind of feels like you're playing like XCOM or, insert modern tactical RPG strategy game here. So it fits well. It feels good. It does have a lot of humor. Some people like the humor, some people don't. I think it's good. I think the humor is very funny. All the characters are voiced, which is really neat, and they all have their own voice. So when you recruit them, they have their own dialogue. They'll interject in the middle of I guess you could say cutscene dialogue. That's not really a cutscene. So they have a lot of polish. I was not expecting that. Some of the humor and the voices really bring the characters to life. You know, they get hit, they react, they respond, they say something, they, you know, kill a guy, they say something, you know, they take out whatever they do. It's neat. It's neat. I really like the vocals and the voices, and I feel like they fit well. So overall, I think it's a great game. Definitely one you should check out if you are a fan of the games in this series. I plan to cover it a little bit more on my channel, make some more videos about it, maybe some guides and stuff to help others. So let me know what you guys think. How do you feel about it? Have you played any of the Jagged Alliance games? You know, are you a fan of games like XCOM? You know, what draws you to this game? What draws you away? Or any questions or comments you have about the game, please drop them down below, and I'd love to answer them and help you guys out. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, later guys. Peace out. Have a good one.